Dear cantineros of the world, today I received an email from a journalist and he asked me, Mr. Meyer, what is your favorite summer cocktail, especially for barbecue? Honestly, I'm not a big fan of these requests, so I was thinking about what to answer, and all of a sudden, with the word barbecue, it came up in my mind because I have heard a great story about an old Cuban classic drink called Mulata, and I have heard a second version of the drink. I have heard uh, to me unknown version of a mulata connected to barbecue. So I answered to the journalist. I said, "Listen, I have a great barbecue drink for you. It has a DNA of barbecue. It's there's a legacy on barbecue on this drink, but you have to wait a few months to prepare it." So I'm not happy if this journalist was happy with the answer. I don't care, but I like the story, and here it is, the story. The mulata is a classic Cuban cocktail, and most modern books call for rum, sugar, fresh lime juice, and the additional creme de cacao. Some say it should be white, some say it can be dark, whatever. It's a kind of daiquiri, so some call it mulata daiquiri, and it's just rum, lime, sugar, and creme de cacao, and it's a great drink. You have the freshness of the lime, power of rum, and then you have these fresh, and on the other side this chocolate taste. It's a little bit like a perfect 20th century cocktail on the gin base. It's always this lemon and creme de cacao, or lime and creme de cacao for mulata. It's a great drink. But there's another version, and a gentleman from Mexico told me the story about this. The gentleman is called Jose Sanchez Gavito, and he is the master blender of Bacardi in Mexico. He is a great guy, and he is already a few years older than me. And he started to work in Mexico at the distillery, I think 40 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And when he started as a young man to become a master blender in Mexico, he had a kind of master blender master. So he was the Padawan, and there was the old JD who should train him on master blending. And his old gentleman was a guy coming from Cuba. He was a member of the Bacardi family. And he used to work in the real distillery on Cuba for Bacardi until the revolution took place, and finally gave Bacardi an exile. So he was used to old Cuban traditions, and he took a few to Mexico. He took a few of these traditions to Mexico, and one of this was producing Bacardi Elixir. In Mexico, they only did one barrel. That was just for friends, family, and employees. They did it once a year, and that is very easy. It's a lost ingredient. It's an old defunct ingredient, Bacardi Elixir. It was popular in old Cuba before revolution. Not too popular, because also in Cuba they told me that was not a product for the market, that was more for friends and family. So what they did is they bought fresh plums and took an old rum barrel, filled it up with, you cut the plums in half, take the stone out, fill up the barrel with plums, and then you just fill it up with Bacardi Reserva. So they had these barrels full of plums and Bacardi Reserva, and now they just let them rest. And they let them rest for a month. And at one point, they tried from time to time. Oh, it's okay. Now it's good. So they tried from time to time, and when they had the feeling that now it's ready to serve this plum rum, they celebrated a big annual barbecue. So they had one or a few more porks, and this pork's on fire, on a grill, whole pork, and they stuffed it with the plums coming from the barrel. So the plums soaked with rum inside the pork that was on the grill, and then they had a super big bass tube, and in the bass tube they put a part of the liquid. So this plum rum. So this plum rum they put in the bass tube. They just put lots of ice, and they just squeezed in fresh limes. So that's all. They had the plum rum and fresh limes, and they chilled it a little bit. And everybody on the barbecue, enjoyed the pork and the plum rum with the lime. They had big cups, and they were just, getting into the bass tube, taking out the drink with some ice and enjoying this drink. And this drink was called the mulata. So the liquid, the plum rum, was called Bacardi Elixir. A part of the liquid was going into bottles, and that used to be a present for Christmas for the employees, for family members, for friends of Bacardi. Bacardi Elixir is plum rum, or used to be plum rum. Jose told me they used to use Bacardi Reserva to do this. So you have just the fresh plums, you have the rum, you let it rest, and then you have Bacardi Elixir. You filter it very much, you strain it very good, and then you have Bacardi Elixir. That's it. And the drink was called the Mulata. It's just take Bacardi Elixir, fresh lime juice, shake it up, give it in a coupette, strain it into a coupette, and if you want to garnish this with one of the plums from inside the barrel. So the plums have also been, the rest of the plums have been packed into glasses and was also a part of the present. So there are two versions of the Mulata, the one with creme de cacao and the one with Bacardi Elixir. If you want to try the barbecue version of the Mulata, I think it will be very hard to get a bottle of real Bacardi Elixir. It's very collectible and I'm not sure how long it will stay good in the bottle. Bacardi just released last year, a little bit for friends and family, 1 barrel of Bacardi Elixir they have done in Mexico. So if you somehow connected to friends of Bacardi, try to contact them and get a bottle of this Mexican Bacardi Elixir, but it's not much bottles. There is a Bacardi Elixir on a few markets, but this must be something else. I am not 100% sure what it is. I've not spotted it in Germany. I've seen it in a few markets. It's called Bacardi Elixir, but this is not the traditional rum plum infusion. It's something different, I don't know. So be careful. I think maybe it's very easy to just do your own. You just have to wait a few months. So take the plums, take the rum, take your time, bring it together, let it rest, take it out, make a barbecue, have fresh limes, ice, and enjoy the real authentic Cuban barbecue mulata. So enjoy.